So students, the second mode of heat transfer is now convection. Now what is convection? You must be knowing again. Previously, I have also said that these topics were taught from your school level also, and again, but with some advancements. Now, what is convection? So, convection is the mode of energy transfer between a solid surface and the adjacent liquid or gas that is in motion. Okay, the important thing which is present here is the between solid surface and the adjacent fluid. By liquid or gas, you may say it is a fluid that is in motion. Now, there are various important terms in present in this definition. So, convection. What is convection? Mode of energy transfer. First important term is between a solid surface. So, a solid surface is mandatory and the adjacent fluid. So, what is convection? A heat transfer between solid and the fluid, and what type of fluid? The fluid should be in motion. If this type of if this type of circumstances are there, then heat transfer is termed as convection. Then convection heat transfer. And the next important line is that it involves what? Convection involves the combined effect of conduction and fluid motion. Now, it is a very important term that a convection involves combined effect of conduction and fluid motion. So, I can say that if there is no conduction, then there is no convection. So, a little bit confused till now. Moving further, so I can remove all your confusions. Now, the next line, which is not a typical one. The faster the fluid motion, the greater the convection heat transfer. So, if the fluid motion is very high, then heat transfer will be very high. This all you must be knowing that if you are drinking a tea and if it is very hot, you blew up air from your mouth so that it become cool. So the greater the force you blew air, the more the quickly the tea will cool down. So what I am explaining this line is this one only. The faster the fluid motion, the greater the convection heat transfer. So the more the fluid motion will be there, the greater will be the heat transfer will be there. So in the present example, the heat transfer is taking place between your tea, hot tea, and the air blew by you. The next line, in the absence of any bulk fluid motion, in the absence of any bulk fluid motion, the heat transfer between a solid surface and the adjacent fluid is purely by conduction. Now, what was I previously saying is written again here, that if there is no fluid motion, then the heat transfer is purely by conduction. Now, you may somewhat be surprised or curious to know that how it is possible. Then, sorry for that. Then just take up an example. Uh, uh, I've also taken in the next paragraph the example. Just take it that one only. Now, if you place a hot block in a on a surface and blow a cool air so that that block can be cooled down. Now, just look up what how the heat transfer takes place. Just look up that as you blow air, the air touches the surface of the block. Now, from your first fluid mechanics course, you must be knowing that the layer between the first layer and the block surface. The layer contacting the block surface has zero velocity. You must be taught in your first level fluid mechanics courses. The first layer that touches the block has zero velocity, and as you move away from the block, then velocity of the air increases up to the free stream velocity, a mean free stream velocity. So now students, look up the point where I am saying that the air will be, the air is having zero velocity. So if the surface above the block, surface of the block above which velocity of air is zero, the air is then stagnant or stationary. So how the heat transfer will take place from that block to that stationary air? It will take place by conduction. Why? Because air is stationary. That particular layer of air is stationary, and since it is stationary, therefore the heat transfer from the top of the block surface to that stationary air will take place from by conduction. Now as the heat leaves that particular layer and moves further upward, then what will happen? Then the fluid is in motion. Sorry for that. Then the fluid is in motion, and now the heat will transfer by the combined effect, by the convection. That is the combined effect of conduction within the air, that is due to random motion of air molecules, and the bulk motion of the air that removes the heated air near the surface and replaces it by the cool air. So what does it mean? So as the air gets cooled down, so it will come down, heated up, and moves upward. The cycle of air, that heated objects, heated air moves, is lighter in weight, so it will move upward, and the cooler air is weighted, so it will move downward. Now convection is also, now this was the convection phenomena, or how the convection process take place. Now convection is called forced convection if the fluid is forced to flow over the surface by external means, such as fan, pump, or the wind. Just now I've given you example of cooling off tea by blowing off air from your mouth, or by some other means like putting the tea under the fan. So in this condition it is a forced convection. Why? Because you are forcing the tea or forcefully blowing the air. Now the second is, convection is called natural convection if the fluid motion is caused by density difference. That means if your tea cools down naturally without blowing any air, just by the temperature difference between the air and the your tea, then it is termed as natural convection. And how it gets cooled up? Because of the density difference due to variation in the temperature. Now rate of convection is generally expressed by Newton's law of cooling, which you must be well aware about that. And what is that one? Q equals to H A T S minus T ambient. So what are these terms? H is heat transfer coefficient, which depends on various factors, which is a part of discussion of convection module when I will be dealing with convection in a greater detail. Then A with a subscript in it S, which represents surface area through which convection heat transfer take place. Now the important thing which generally we get confused, that AS denotes a surface area, not the cross sectional area. Then TS, that is a T with subscript S, is the surface temperature, and the last term is T with a infinity symbol in its subscript, is temperature of the fluid sufficiently far from the surface. So what does generally, students, this mean? Is the ambient temperature. So T infinity means the ambient temperature. Now H, some introduction to H. H is not a property of the fluid. So it is a very important statement that H, or the heat transfer coefficient, is not the property of the fluid. Generally it is experimentally determined parameter. So the value of H is determined experimentally and depends on all the variables influencing, and it generally whose value depends on variables influencing convection. So H is not a very, H, or heat transfer coefficient, is not an easy constant or a coefficient whose value just can be determined, because the major reason behind this is that H is a very complex coefficient. Why? Because it is governed by various factors, of which some of them are surface geometry. That means, what does the surface geometry mean? Surface geometry means whether the section over which heat transfer is determined is circular, cylindrical, spherical, or any other type of geometry. The nature of the fluid motion. So the nature of the fluid motion means whether the fluid is in laminar flow, turbulent flow, or transition flow, or an isothermal flow. So various types of fluid motion are present. So under which category your fluid motion falls? Next, properties of the fluid. Now what does the property of the fluid means? A property of the fluid generally means its thermal conductivity, specific gravity, and its temperature, all other kinematic viscosity, dynamic viscosity, all these are the properties of the fluid. Moreover, the surface tension, all these properties determine the value of H. So dear students, H is not easily measurable, and it depends on various factors of which I have few few only. And at last, the bulk fluid velocity. What does the bulk fluid velocity means? The bulk fluid velocity means the velocity of the fluid with which the velocity fluid is in motion. Now the next part is the radiation part. Coming to that one, the radiation. Now what is radiation? Radiation is the energy emitted by the matter in the form of electromagnetic waves or photons as a result of the change in electronic configuration of the atoms or molecules. So what does this mean, students? You know that when the atoms get excited, it moves to its higher state, excited state, and when it comes down to its original states, then energy is liberated in the form of electromagnetic waves. So radiation also falls in that category. So radiation, the important properties of radiation is it does not require the presence of any medium, and heat transfer by radiation is fastest. So this is an important property, that radiation does not require the presence of any medium. That's why the sun rays or the energy from the sun can is coming from is coming to earth. You know that in space there is no atmosphere, only vacuum is present there, and the only mode of energy transfer is by radiation. And it approximately take, you must also be knowing this one, that the energy of the sun comes from sun to earth by approximately 8.5 minutes. So it is the fastest mode of energy transfer. The next is in heat transfer studies, we are interested in thermal radiation. So radiations are also of various types, like X-rays of various types, or in that one we are only interested in thermal radiation. Thermal radiation is a form of radiation emitted by bodies because of their temperature difference. It differs from electromagnetic radiation like X-rays and gamma rays and radio waves. So radiation falls under the category of thermal radiation, what we are interested in that one. Now radiation heat transfer to or from a surrounded surface occurs parallel to conduction or convection. So what does this mean? That radiation always occurs parallel to conduction or convection. Okay. Then between the surface and the gas, parallel to conduction between the surface and the gas. Thus, the total heat transfer is determined by adding the contribution of both the heat transfer mechanisms. So, as far as your Earth is concerned, the radiation is always accompanied by either conduction or convection. Radiation never occurs solely in the on a solely itself. It is always assisted by conduction or convection, whichever the factor is present there. Now, therefore, whenever you are encountering the radiation, you must add up conduction or convection in that part, and the combined heat transfer is due to both of these. Now, to simplify the things, the heat transfer coefficient combined, H combined, is defined. So what is H combined? H combined is the it includes the effect of both convection and radiation. So whenever convection and radiation are involved simultaneously, then as you must be knowing that H heat transfer coefficient was also present in convection, and heat transfer coefficient is also present in convection because of Stephen's law. So to write individually or to simplify the results, combined H is introduced, whose which is given by H combined. Then the total transfer of rate or from a transfer rate to or from a surface by convection and radiation is expressed as Q equals to Q total is equal to H combined AS TS minus T ambient. So what does the here symbols means? Let's go through that one. Q total means the total heat transfer because of convection and radiation. H combined means the heat transfer coefficient, combined coefficient of heat transfer by convection and radiation. Third, A with subscript S denotes the surface area. Again, I am reminding you that A subscript denotes the surface area and not the cross-sectional area. Then the next TS, again it is the temperature, surface temperature, and T with subscript ambient is the ambient temperature of the surrounding, ambient temperature or the temperature of the surroundings. So with this, I finished up the radiation part and introduction to heat transfer. Before I wind up, before I quit, before I sorry, just have a recapitulation till now what I have taught. First of all, I introduced this subject of heat and mass transfer, then gives the differentiation between your basic thermodynamics and heat transfer, that why a new subject is introduced. Next, application of heat transfer. Sorry, application of heat transfer was given to you, that it is not just constrained to some engineering devices but also to your human body also. Then I introduced you the concept of heat transfer mechanism. As you must be now aware that there are basically three types of heat transfer mechanism: conduction, convection, and radiation. Of which conduction happens because of, in generally in solids where heat transfer takes place because of higher energetic molecules transferring heat to the lesser one. Although the conduction happens to be in liquids and gases also, but their values are very less. Then I introduced to the Fourier's equation, the most important one. I give you that heat transfer is always normal to the surface surface area. Then you were introduced to thermal conductivity and what it signifies. Then you were introduced with the thermal diffusivity, and thermal diffusivity, as you must be now aware, that it denotes how faster the propagation of heat into the medium take place. And the higher the thermal diffusivity value means higher the heat flow, and lower the thermal diffusivity value means that heat is maximum absorbed within the medium. Then I introduced you with the convection, a very complex phenomena. In in your syllabus, your module is totally dedicated to convection only. So in convection, you can also say that convection is a combined heated combined heat transfer mechanism by conduction and by bulk fluid motion. Then it is known as convection. With the example, I explained you the convection. The example taken was a cooling of block by blowing up the air. Then radiation was introduced to you. Now, what was radiation? In radiation, you were introduced that the energy emitted by the matter as a result of change in electronic configuration was termed as radiation. Now we were only interested in the thermal radiation. Then you were introduced to the Stefan Boltzmann equations, that is Q equals to sigma AST to the power 4 equation. Thereafter, I introduced to the that convection, generally radiation does not occur alone. Convection or conduction is being assisted by it. So if convection is there or convection is a dominating part, then the H value, that is the heat transfer coefficient value of convection and the radiation, are combined, and a new term is given H with subscript combined, as written in the downside of the page. And Q total is given by the combination of heat convection and convection and radiation. So with this, I wind up the first introduction to heat and mass transfer. In the next section, we will be meeting with combined heat transfer mechanisms, somewhat a little more complex thing. Till then, thank you.